Yeah. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Man, it's another week.
Absolutely.
Real Talk and Real
Absolutely.
Estate. Huh?
Welcome to the Real Talk and Real Estate podcast, where we give it to you straight, no chaser.
Yeah, this my name is Chris Allen, one of your hosts here on the podcast, Real Talk and Real Estate. I got my man to your left. Are you on my right or my left? What we doing this week? You on my right. My man Maurice. What's going on, Doc?
What's going on? The bearded realtor.
The bearded realtor. Mine growing though. I'm gray.
You don't want to grow it, man. You scared. You don't want to get that.
You're right.
You don't want to get that big girth on there. You don't want to.
You know, I'm
That's too much for you.
whole,
That's too much for you.
I tried that once before my whole face was on fire. I said, I can't do this. I'm around here scratching like I'm an old dude back in the crackhead days.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
I can't do this.
It's just
man, we had a good week. Let's go ahead, before we jump into some things, let's go ahead and pay some bills.
Absolutely. Go ahead and hop into it.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage. Click on the ad below to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that was Mortgages by Linda, the 2023 People's Choice Award winner
2023
here in Northeast Florida, man. So so you can reach her at www.teammbl.com. teammbl.com or 1-877-TEAM-MBL. So that is our preferred partner, Miss Mortgages by Linda.
Absolutely. We thank you, Miss Linda, for being that preferred sponsor of the show. We're so very, very excited to have you partner up with us.
Absolutely.
And we got some big things coming. Do we have another? You want to do the other sponsor? Do we have another sponsor?
I don't have any other sponsors, but here's what I do have. Go ahead and talk to the people while I knock out one thing really quick.
Oh, man, I'm so excited about tonight's show. I've been talking to this young lady for maybe a good year. And, we just kind of stayed in contact through the time and Facebook friends. And I see the things that she's doing on Facebook and all over, man. She's just a trailblazer in the game. And I'm so excited for tonight's guest. Maurice, we truly have someone in the industry who, if you just listen to what she says, she's going to explode your business and your money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Explode your business and your money. And, it's my pleasure tonight, man, to bring you somebody, to bring the guest somebody who I have the immense pleasure of introducing. She's a remarkable individual, just doing some amazing things in Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, Orlando. She's just doing some amazing thing in the industry of real estate. She's a guest of ours tonight. She's a beacon of the real estate excellence. She just knows her stuff. She's a radiant force of nature in this particular industry. She has years of experience that has been woven into the fabric of who she is as an individual. Now, she's not just a normal, everyday, merely just a realtor. She's a visionary. What she's going to tell y'all tonight, she's going to share some things with you tonight. Hopefully, she's going to open up that bag with tricks that she got, because I know she knows all the tricks of the trade. But she's awesome, man. She's a visionary.
Absolutely.
She doesn't just look for just basic properties. She sees the hidden potential within inside of them, and her unique ability is to transform real estate dreams into tangible realities.
Absolutely.
And so without further ado, man.
Wait a minute. One more thing before you do that for me. I got one surprise for everybody tonight.
Okay.
One more surprise for everybody tonight. Before we do that, want you guys to go check out my co-host's first book that's out right now. It's time to make a shift. Let's get it, baby. That's what it is. It's time to shift. It's a 5-step positive mindset action plan. It's right now on Amazon. Go check that out. You can get it on your your what is it called? Audible and paperback. So definitely go get that book. It's time to make a shift. All right. So hey man, proud of you, man. I want to say that before we bring on Miss Jackie Jackson. Proud of you, man. Rocking the book. I was so shocked when I saw it last week. I was like, this brother wrote a book? What? And he told, you know how people tell you about stuff and they really just be talking. And then when you actually see it, you like, oh snap, he actually wrote this book for real. So yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man. Killing the game, man. Time to make a shift. Get it at Amazon, man. So
absolutely.
My co-host Chris Allen out here writing books.
Yeah, man, we're doing it. Well, listen, tonight ain't about me. It's about my girl. I want to bring to the forefront, to the stage, my friend, my Facebook friend. She's doing some amazing things. Miss Jackie Jackson. What you there? Let's see what we got. There she is.
The Facebook friend. What you mean? What does that mean?
We have never ever met in person.
Are you kidding me right now?
Never. But you would think that we've been friends for a whole. Can we hear? Say something, Jackie.
Yes, I definitely can hear you, Chris.
Yeah.
And
but you would think that we've been friends forever.
Like we go way back.
Back.
Like quarter waters and a bag of chips when you can get a whole snack.
I need my soda can. That's it. Welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing so well, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, both of you, for allowing me to be a guest on the show. And I was looking at the both of your beards, and I was like, man, I feel left out. I was like, wait a minute.
No, you don't do it. You don't need the beard.
No, you don't need that. You don't need that. No,
you don't need the beard. But you're rocking the gold. I mean, you the blonde. I might put the blonde in mine. What you think?
I just want to be inclusive, because that's where we are right now in society. Like,
absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely. We're doing our thing. Now, I know you travel from here and there. I know we're going to get into your story, but where are you located at right now?
Orlando, Florida.
You're in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Orlando, Florida. That's where I'm at.
Okay, good stuff. Well, listen, Maurice, before we get it, you want to say anything, Maurice, before we jump into it?
Is that home base for you, Orlando?
It is for now. Okay. It's definitely my home base. This is where I live and operate my business out of. And I'm also a reservist in the United States Army. I'm a captain in the Army. And I recently was mobilized by my unit, mobilized to active duty. So at the end of this week, I will be relocating for active duty. So that's something that I'm working on right now too. Big shift.
Thank you for your service.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maurice did 20. What'd you do, Maurice? 21, 22?
25.
25 years in the Navy.
24 years in the Navy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for your service, Maurice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, listen, Jackie, I know we talk all the time, so I don't want to tell your story. Just real quick, kind of give us that aerial overview of who is Jackie Jackson.
Oh man, where do I even start?
When you're 3 years old,
Right. That would be like TMI, wouldn't it? No, I didn't mean that far back. But truly, I'm a mom, right? I'm a mother of two. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. My history is in banking and consumer finance. So, I came up through the trenches of lending. I came up through the trenches of learning a real estate the traditional way, right? So this is go to a bank or a credit union, get qualified, right? Put down 20%, and then maybe you can get qualified and get an investment property, and maybe you could get in the game that way, right? So I grew up in a traditional sense of using the bank's money, gotta have like really good credit, all of that stuff. So that's my history, like where I came from. And then one day I met real estate investors who were doing things a really different way. They were coming into my branch. They were doing wire transfers. They was cashing checks, brothers. Okay. Wow. And I was like, ooh, those checks is kind of big, I need to know a little bit about what you're doing, Right. So I picked a few people's brains, asked them a few questions. They shared with me that they were investors. And because I was like licensed and I work in banking and I did everything right, I went to school, I got the good grades, right? I got the job, I got the VP title. I learned all of this traditional stuff. I was like, I could do that. I sure can. Yeah, I think I could do that. I ain't asked nobody no questions, nothing,
Right.
nothing major. You know what I mean? Where I would actually get like wisdom from. It was like
Right.
surface level questions, right?
Sure.
So my first real estate investment, right, that I ever did, gentlemen, right? I jumped in, feet first, really like overzealous and, just really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So my first deal was $120,000 loss. Real people's money.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. That don't sound like a good start.
That don't sound too good. Now let's.
No, that don't sound too good at all. In a minute.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we got the wrong show tonight. We got the wrong show.
So I always start, with the story of how I got started, because it's the most expensive PhD on what not to do, right? So it was the wrong property in the wrong location at the wrong type in the market, using the wrong type of financing, as well as the wrong type of strategy, right? So there was a whole lot of things that was going wrong in that deal that I did not know, and I didn't have anybody to inform me, support, you know what I mean? Like someone I could mentor me and share these information with me. So it took me a long time to climb out of that deficit. Like I said, I was a mom, I had kids, I had already had bills, because that was the reason why I got into real estate, because I was looking for financial freedom. I was looking for an opportunity to become an entrepreneur, own my own time, buy my own time back, all of that stuff, right? The stuff that the cliches that we read in the books and watch on like YouTube and stuff. So that's what I was looking for. And I literally bought myself more debt, So I was like, man, this didn't work out at all. But the one thing that I did learn from that experience is that there are other people that were successful, because I saw the checks, right? So now, based on my situation, it forced me to slow down and start asking questions, right? Because there was more people that had wisdom than me, more people that had more experience than me, knowledge than me, and then I needed to slow down and find out what they knew. And that's when I was introduced to creative real estate investing, which is an untraditional method of doing real estate that I had no idea even existed, okay? So I learned how to be a transaction engineer from that point forward, which is like the no money down strategies. I learned wholesaling. I learned how to take over payments for mortgages, how to buy houses subject to, and I'm just throwing out some terms, types of strategies that I'm well versed in. I learned how owner financing, right? I learned how to deal structure. I learned option agreements. I learned how to put all of these combinations of no money down, don't use your credit. First of all, I ain't had no credit because I had to file bankruptcy because of that deal. So I couldn't borrow from anybody. So I had to figure it out. And I used those strategies to figure it out, as well as climb out of my debt. So real estate does work.
Right.
Gotcha.
Real estate with guidance works.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this then. So during that time, you $120,000 in the hole. Why not just cut your losses and just walk away at that point? What made you want to continue going on to say, okay, I'm going to make this work?
I had too much to lose. I mean, I had student loan debt. By that time, I believe I had like my second degree. I had my master's degree at that time. Okay. So I needed to pay for that. I needed to pay for this deficit that I created in my life. I had kids that I had to take care of. So even though I had those losses, like staying there in that situation and like having a pity party for myself was also not the answer, right? Because I just had too many people counting on me in order for me to stay there and be like, oh, this didn't work, and go cry in a corner. I was like, nah, I'm going to figure this out. And if you look at the stories of the most successful and wealthiest people in this world, they'll always share with you that they've never been broke. They have been in between fortunes, but they've never considered themselves broke. So
in between fortunes. I love that. In between fortunes.
That's a nice way to phrase it.
Listen, I've been in between some fortunes now.
That's beautiful. In between fortunes. Okay, go ahead.
But I've never considered myself broke or broken or being at a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form, because there's something called accountability. Like nobody led me to do that deal, and nobody, hindered me from asking more questions before I did the deal, right? I did that all on my own. So I had to really put on my big girl pants and just acknowledge that, right? So that's part of the process about being an entrepreneur, is acknowledging what didn't work just as much as what does work.
That's good. That's good. So let me ask you a question. I don't know if you have one follow-up.
No. Go ahead. Keep going.
So do you actually have an active real estate license? I didn't hear that.
No, I do not. And I wanted to just make sure that I clarified that. So I am a unlicensed professional.
You're an unlicensed
professional real estate investor and coach. And I use my experience, right? All of my wisdom, my experience. I tell people all the time, like all of my students, I say, you can borrow my wisdom. You can borrow my time, right? You can borrow my knowledge. You can even borrow everything that I say. You can just copy me 100%. It doesn't matter to me because I know what works. But that's what I am. I'm an unlicensed professional. So the only fiduciary responsibility that I have to anybody in any real estate deal is to myself.
That's good. That's good. Let me ask you a question. So being in the industry, you come across properties, you deal with probably other real estate agents, right? What do you think the biggest hurdle for real estate agents are that they don't dive into the investment aspects of real estate?
I think a lot of people get licensed because they want to be a real estate investor, right? So they start out their journey believing that the real estate license, or going to get their license, a sales agent license, is that path and that journey to starting a real estate portfolio or investing in properties, right? And it could be, but what happens is it often is not, because what you're taught from the state is like how to pass the test, right? You're taught like how to represent someone else. You're not really taught like negotiations, and you're not taught these, untraditional strategies to actually make a deal work. You're taught how to do it very vanilla. So plain vanilla and structured, and you only get the language you're introduced from the traditional mindset of doing real estate. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not how real estate investors become profitable. That's just not our method and our strategy. So people get really disappointed. So when I speak with licensed professionals, they're asking me, what do I do? And I explain it. And I share with them that I know as much as, if not even more than what their jobs are, because not only do I have to study the laws and the statutes to make sure that I remain on the right side of the fence as an investor, but I want to be able to articulate intelligently when speaking to them. So I know what they know, and I know what I know. So I know both sides of how to operate that coin. Yeah.
Do you have a follow-up, Maurice?
No, go ahead.
If you were a real estate agent, what advice would you give other real estate agents? Well, what advice would you give real estate agents right now to take advantage of this market? Like, how would they go about doing it? What would you advise them to do?
Oh man, there's such a variety of options. So real estate agents normally operate within the realm of commission, right? So if they're like, their first question, how much commission I'm going to make? And I'm like, okay, it's 3%, or 4 or 5 or 6% of the deal, right? That's cool and everything. And you still got to split that with your broker. That's awesome, whatever your split rate is. But we're talking about equity. We're talking about ownership. We're talking about your net worth. We're talking about, building, right? And they don't often make that connection. So the advice I share is, okay, forego the paycheck so you can own the property. And they're like,
right.
And I'm like, yeah, like you don't need the commission check if you own the building. And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So yes, you don't have to have the best credit ever. You can have great credit. That's fine, but if you don't, and if you have some, stuff going on in your history, that's okay. Right. If you don't have a lot of money to start, that's okay. learn about the methods, like the no money down methods, and how to deal structure, and how real estate investors can take advantage of that. So one of the niches right now that a lot of agents are just missing the boat on is option agreements. And I have taught realtors. I've taught some big brokerage firms and gone there and was like guest speakers and pulled up their MLS, because it ain't mine. Pulled up their MLS, and I'm like, you see this finance option? Click it. You can actually sell a home, or have your clients offer their properties on the MLS as an option. You can show them how to do owner financing. You can show them how to take over a mortgage and sell their property for a profit and allow somebody else to take over their mortgage payment. So their eyes open really big, really wide, and they're like, wow, I didn't even know that button was there. And I'm like, yeah, it's there. So I just show them that the opportunity. So they're not having these conversations with sellers, especially sellers that may not have a lot of equity. So I'm like, they can still sell their property even if they don't have a lot of equity, and then the seller can pay them commission out of pocket, but then they get an opportunity to earn even more commission down the road when they stay in the deal, right? When whoever it is that's taking over that property at that time gets qualified and purchases that property in the very near future, like 24 months or so. So they literally can get paid twice, but sometimes they don't really see it.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. So really quick. So you've been in the business, real estate space for how long at this point?
Yeah, since 2006. So I did the math. I think it's 17
years.
17 years.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
So and I know some of these strategies that you're talking about, the assumption of the mortgages subject to now why do you feel that's, because I know a lot of investors want to keep that low interest rate, so they do the assumption of the loan, essentially, because I mean, let's be for real, the past 2 years we've had sub 1%, damn near nothing percent interest rates, so they want to keep that low interest rate rather than paying a 6 or 7 or 8 and closer to 9 or 10 depending on the investment side, because it's a lot higher. So why do you feel as though that strategy has been, I mean, not really been so popular, but why do you think a lot of realtors are just not informed on these strategies? There you go. There's a lot of opportunities out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of opportunities for those who are aware that it's an opportunity, right? Yeah. So an opportunity could be standing in front of all of our faces, but if we're unaware of what it looks like, then we're going to miss it. So I believe that that's what the biggest challenge is that no one has told them that it's an opportunity and described it and actually connected the dots to show how a transaction looks like from start to finish, right? So from listing agreement, right, to marketing the property to actually executing a purchase and sales agreement with the end buyer, like all of those steps and linking them together to make like a holistic plan that has not been done for a lot of agents.
That's good.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. So what circumstances would a realtor approach a seller for a subject to for assuming their mortgage? Does it always have to be a financial issue or financial crisis for that person, or is there anything else?
No, not at all, right? So sellers sell their properties for multiple different reasons, right? Sometimes it could be where it is some type of financial distress. It could be relocation, or it could be that their family is getting larger and they need to have a bigger space and they need to sell one property or have payment relief for one property so that they can afford a different property where they need to go so that they can expand. Sometimes it's downsizing. It could be a lot of different things, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a distress or situation. It just has to be some type of motivation, right? So as long as, and what I found in my experience is as long as one is able to articulate and explain a logical plan and course of action to a seller and explain how it benefits them and how everybody wins. So basically it's providing a solution, right? So if you can provide a solution that satisfies the most painful need that they have at the time, it doesn't have to be a financial pain, but whatever that is, right? So an example of a non-financial pain is, I'm a grandma, right? And my grandkids are located in California, right? And I live in Florida, and it bothers me that I don't get to see them, right? So I'm at a point in my life where I'm an empty nester, and all I want to do is just hang out with my grandkids for as much time as I have available. So I want to relocate closer to family, right? So I'm not emotionally connected to the property. I'm emotionally connected to the outcome of selling the property because it gets me to closer to my family. So maybe I'll consider, depending on the market, of selling my property in an untraditional method because it helps me get out of that property quickly, satisfies my needs, and helps me get over to my family quickly. That's a perfect example.
Yes, it is.
So the options, I want to get into it. I want to get into the skill sets because you got some amazing skill sets, and you created a whole brand around certain things in the industry. You created a whole brand. Let's go to that low hanging fruit. Like, you got a lot of real estate agents out here right now who, for whatever reason, they're not closing any deals. They can't find clients, and they're struggling. And we know that the percentage of agents that fail in this industry is very, very high. And the reason why it's high is because they can't figure it out fast enough, and those bills are coming. They're coming every month. Give us a low-hanging fruit for an agent out there right now listening to the show to make some cash, to make some money using the tools that they already have.
Okay. I would actually advise them to connect with an investor, because investors are already marketing in some way, shape, or form. And then investors know specifically what their end state goal is. They know what their product is, right? So they can give them a market, right? Like a specific geographical area for them to call, or a list. And they can give them the ideas of what they need in order for them to get a deal, right? So you already have a built-in buyer, right? Because that's really what it is. And normally investors have cash. A lot of agents want to work with like first-time home buyers. That's a sure way to starve. So work with, and I love me some first-time home buyers because I was a first-time home buyer at some point, in my journey. But first-time home buyers, there's so many variables within the transaction that can cause the transaction to not close. And you invested so much time and so much energy without having a return on your time and energy, without having any compensation, right? Because the deal didn't close, but you're already out of your gas. You're already out of your marketing dollars. You drove them everywhere. You showed them 50 houses and they still didn't buy. You know what I mean? Like, or they qualified and then they did something crazy to jeopardize their qualification, with the bank, or they did everything correct and the bank still did not, follow through with a loan commitment letter because, I don't know, guidelines changed and they couldn't provide like one piece of documentation, which caused the lender to underwrite the loan differently, right? So there's all these different variables that can cause agents to like literally like not eat, right? So you want to position yourself, any agent, position themselves for the highest probability of closing more deals exponentially. Why not talk to the people who got money, right? Gotcha. I mean, that's business 101, right? We are all here to make profit. We get into business, I think, ideally to help people, which I think is absolutely like the end state goal. You're passionate, you want to help people, you want to hold their hand or whatever. But if you are not making money and you're not having revenue, you are going to go bankrupt, right? No matter how wonderful your heart is. You want to help people. If you're not making money, you're going to go broke. Right. Or you're going to be in between fortunes.
I like it. Right.
Gotcha.
But dealing in the MLS though, do you think that the MLS is going to provide the real estate agents the properties that these investors are looking at, or do you think the investor? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, investors look at on-market properties as well too, right? But we're looking for a specific type of property that fits our buy box. That's one of the terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if the criteria, because you can put the MLS kind of notifications on like a drip campaign, if you will, right? You can put in your criteria, and then if a property meets those specific criteria, then it's going to email out, the recipient so that they can get a notification that, hey, something came on the market that fits what you're looking for. That's one way how to do it. But most investors, we buy properties that are off market, properties that are not on the market. So we're literally more interested in what did not sell on the MLS. So, so we're looking at expired listings a lot of the times, and agents are like, what? Why would you be interested? They don't want to sell. No, I'm like, that's your assumption. That they want to sell. They wanted to sell at some point, and then something happened where that listing expired. Maybe it wasn't the price or whatever it was, but there was motivation. So we're looking for inquiring what that motivation could have been. But back to your question, Chris, is that when you work with a real estate investor, they're going to educate the agent to show and demonstrate how they can find off-market deals. And that's the missing piece of the equation that they don't learn in the state exam. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to niche down. They don't know how to generate leads for themselves. And what I mean is, there are thousands, millions of properties, and I'm literally not even being facetious about this, of property owners that are delinquent on their real estate taxes, right? And that's the current niche that I serve and operate in right now. I teach people how to invest in real estate, how to buy actual real property for their delinquent taxes all across the United States from the comfort of their own home, right?
Break that down now. You got don't go too fast. Break stuff down. What does that mean?
You can buy properties for their delinquent real estate taxes. Real property has real estate taxes because real estate taxes pays for all of our community services, community amenities that we all know and love, right? So our 911, our EMS, our fire department, our libraries, our schools, right? Our water systems, our roads, our stoplights, all of those things. Real estate taxes are collected to support those services in our communities, right? So it's a really, really big deal when a property owner does not pay their real estate taxes, because real estate taxes come around every single year, whether you have a mortgage or whether you own your property free and clear or not, right? Real estate taxes are due. So when they're not paid, every state in the United States has a law in place that outlines the collection process for those property owners, all the way up to the taxing authority being able to sell that property to recoup the real estate taxes that are owed. All right. So that's the process that I teach people how to master and how to take advantage of within the law for their state.
Gotcha. So how is, Maurice, you have one?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
How does that break down right here in Florida? Because we are in Florida. How does that tax thing, walk us through that process? Where do I find it? Walk us through that process.
Very cool. I shall, because I love talking about Florida. So again, there are 3,141 counties and county equivalents throughout the United States, and all of them collect real estate taxes. Here in the Sunshine State, we have 67 of those counties, right? 67 counties here. So Florida is actually considered a hybrid state. They have two different processes that kind of occur like congruent to each other. So in Florida, the state of Florida sells and offers to the public, investors like you and I, right, the opportunity to earn a rate of return up to like 18% on your money, right, with tax lien certificates, okay? And that's literally investing in 1 year of somebody else's real estate taxes. So Mr. Smith on 123 Main Street did not pay his real estate taxes last year. The tax collector is going to host a annual auction, right? And ask the public, the community, hey, can somebody help us out? We really need those dollars to invest in our community. So we need somebody to pay Mr. Smith's taxes for him, and then wait for Mr. Smith to reimburse you. However, what's going to happen while you wait, which is called a redemption period, is that your money is going to accrue interest, right? All the way up to a certain point of time, which is called a redemption period. And if Mr. Smith does not pay you back, we have a process in place that will literally force Mr. Smith to either pay his taxes with all the fees and the interest and everything that has accrued over that time period during the redemption period, or he is subject to his property being sold to the highest bidder for those real estate taxes, right? So that's the first process, which is called the tax lien sale. And it happens annually on or before June 1st in the state of Florida, right? So real estate taxes in Florida is due November 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, fact check me, realtors.
Yeah, that's right. That's November 1st.
Is due on or before or on November 1st, right?
Yep.
And they actually become delinquent on March 31st.
March,
Yeah.
right.
So property owners literally have like a 6-month grace period to pay their real estate taxes every single year. So it's kind of like a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any obligation where you get a 6-month like grace period to actually make that payment.
But that car gonna be driving down the street. You don't pay that car note, I promise you, it's gonna be driving down the road.
Right. You don't have 6 months.
You're not gonna have 6 months.
You don't have 6 months to make your payment.
Okay.
So on April 1st, each property owner that has not paid their property taxes in the state of Florida is officially considered delinquent, right? Mm-hmm. So the tax collector is going to send out notices to all of those individuals who did not pay their real estate taxes. And then they're also going to publish, put everybody business out in the street. They're going to publish the list of all of those delinquent property owners in a local newspaper within that county. And they're going to publish the actual date of the auction to ask the public, hey, can somebody pay the taxes on behalf of the people that did not pay? Because they still need the money because it's part of their fiscal budget.
Gotcha. So let's talk about this redemption period, because I know a lot of the things you're saying right now, and the homeowner does have a redemption period to get that, pay you that money plus interest plus all the fees. So does the redemption period vary from county to county, or how does the redemption period work?
No, it's actually outlined in each state, right? So for the state of Florida, it's 2 years. Other states, it could be 6 months, 1 year, all the way up to 3 to 4 years, just depending on the state. But specifically for Florida, it is 24 months. 24 months.
So you will actually essentially have your money sitting there for a 2 year. That's a very long time to have some money just sitting there in a pot. But that's the time frame that they have to pay you that money back.
Well, it's all about mindset, isn't it? Okay. Right? Because so you have to look at it from a different perspective, right? So what is the benefit of investing in tax lien certificates in the first place? It's secured by real property. It's a lien that's secured. It's actually a first position lien, right? So it trumps even mortgages that are already first position mortgages that are on those properties. So real estate taxes are priority liens even over the mortgage, right? So they have to be paid first even before a mortgage does, right? So that's the first thing. It's secured by real property. So for those who feel kind of like leery investing in like the stock market where you don't even know what you're investing in and things like that, you kind of get a warm fuzzy because you could drive by. You can see, what you invested in. Now you don't own the property. You just have a lien against that property, a priority lien. And that property owner has up to 2 years, right? Gotcha. So it doesn't mean that they're going to take 2 years to pay you back. That's the benefit of Mr. Smith having the opportunity to gain more time to pay you. But 18% is pretty major. Let's talk about that for a second, right? Because the last time I checked, I'm starting to get like marketing collateral, like postcards and stuff like that from banks, and they want me to bring my money over there. And they're like, hey, Miss Jackson, we can give you 5%. All you have to do is open a certificate of deposit and put your money here for like 24 months or 20, whatever that was. And I was like, oh, okay. So basically what you're telling me is I'm just going to keep my money up with inflation. So yeah, like just the rate of what inflation is, I really didn't get ahead. And, you know, I'm like, well, where's the benefit in that when I can literally be earning 18% of my money and it's secured by real property? So that's really where the big benefit is for those that are interested in real estate tax lien certificates. Now, for those who are interested in the actual property itself, right? Because you have two different types of investors, or maybe a combination of both. For those who are interested in actually owning the property, there's something called tax deeds, right? Yeah. Tax deeds, right? So tax deeds is actually a transfer of ownership, right? An in rem foreclosure process, right? So they don't need a judicial authorization from a court or anything like that. They don't need like a deficiency judgment, like a mortgage foreclosure or anything like that. It's just that it's written like this in the law. Like we said, we can do this. That's literally what it said, like in the law. Like we have the authority to do this.
Right. Gotcha.
And this is what we're doing. Right.
Right.
So an in rem foreclosure, and that's what a tax sale is, right? So it transfers the ownership from the existing property owner to the county. And then it's an involuntary transfer, it's a foreclosure. And then from the county to the bidder, the person who's purchasing the property for the delinquent real estate taxes. And that, and when I found that out, gentlemen, I was like, say what?
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good.
So let me ask you a question. So our audience is majority, if not damn near all, agents. How does this strategy help them in their business? Because one, we talked about commission. They ain't making no money, so they really can't put the money up for the tax deeds.
Yep.
And then for two, to actually buy the property themselves, they couldn't do it. So how can this strategy help realtors that are listening to the show?
Oh, I have a great answer for that
There
question.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get to it. There we go.
Why? Because I have agents in my program now.
There we go.
They do. So what those agents do is they've learned the administrative and the due diligence process, right? For how to look for these properties, how to attend the auction and so on like that. So what they have done, the ones that are successful, is they've established a relationship with the cash buyers, right? So other people who have more money than them. Because sometimes people make decisions based on how much money they have in their bank account. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you, like, what does your bank account got to do with anything? There's plenty of money out here, right? Even if you are in between fortunes, there's other people who are not. Right? Okay, good. So they make relationships with cash buyers, and cash buyers are always looking for opportunities, right? That's what we do. We're looking for great deals, and tax deeds are amazing deals because you're not buying the property for the assessed value, the appraised value, the market value. You're literally purchasing the property for its delinquent real estate taxes. It's like the best kept secret, right? So with these cash buyers, you understand their buying criteria, and now it's time for you to go out and look through the county records, find these properties that are going up for sale, inform the cash buyer that there's a property that fits their buying criteria that's going up for sale, have them purchase it with the understanding that once the property is renovated, whatever their exit strategy is, that you get an opportunity to put that property on the market for them. So you can be the listing agent for those cash buyers when that property is ready to go back onto the market. So that's one place to get the commission. The other place to get compensated up front is to be a consultant. Like, why not, right? Why not be a consultant for those cash buyers, right? So, okay, fine. You want me to work for you to find, locate, source these types of properties. I'll be happy to do that for you for a fee, because there is a cost for your time. So I want you to be compensated. I don't want anybody to work for free. So don't be afraid to say, hey, Mr. Buyer, right?
Yes.
You will look at properties for you and, drive by, check it out, do all of these different things, do your, what is it, CMAs and, let's say, cost market analysis thing that you got, all of that stuff, right? There's a cost for all of that, and I'll be happy to do it. I'll just be working for you and helping you identify and find leads and potential prospective properties that you can buy. And I'll do that for you with the understanding that when I do find a property for you, that you allow me to sell it for you. How about that?
Yep. I love it. So one more question, Chris. I want to ask this question. So we've talked about being an investor. So, and it's very important for realtors that are listening to this show to be an investor, because granted, we sell, like you said, I see a lot of agents who sell property working on the commission, but don't have home ownership. So a portfolio, or even just have, let's be real. Some agents don't even have a home. Let's just be honest about it. Some of them still renting. So here's what I'm saying right now. What, in this way that you're talking about it, please explain to our audience that there are so many ways out there that they can get money to buy these properties that are on a tax deed. Because a lot of people think, oh, I don't have the money in my pocket, I don't have it. But they don't understand that there's plenty of big people that have a lot of money that will be willing to give it to you to buy these properties and build a portfolio. So let's talk about that money that's out there for them.
Okay, so remember when I told you that when I was in between fortunes, when I was when I remember that?
Yes.
One of the places that I discovered in my local market was my Real Estate Investors Association. And that's a place where licensed and both unlicensed professionals can go and join a membership. It's literally like the best investment that anybody can make. So your local RIA can be anywhere from like $150 a year for the membership to, maybe a couple of $100. But the cool thing about it is the networking opportunity that you'll meet people with money because it's a real estate investor association, right? So there are investors, there's cash buyers there's people who are learning how to buy real estate, right? So there's classes, there's education, there's all these resources that are there for anybody who is interested in learning these untraditional methods of getting involved with real estate that are normally not taught in school. Your parents didn't teach you, and you're definitely not going to learn it from the state's continuing education classes, right? You're not going to get it. You're not going to get ease or nothing like that, right? You're really going to have to speak to other people who are actively doing it, and then they're going to tell you exactly what to do. So when you join your local Real Estate Investors Association, you can get in contact with people who have money, private lenders, people who have self-directed IRAs and retirement accounts, who have money that's not earning high rates of returns. And all they want to do is be the bank for somebody. Right. I was in position, times that I loaned my own money to other investors and then had them pay me back, right? So I loaned money to other investors and I was their bank for their deal to buy real estate. And they paid me back with a rate of return that I negotiated with them. And my lien was a first position lien on their property. Okay. And I was treated just like I was Bank of America, right? So I was listed as the additional insured on the homeowner's insurance, right? I had all this, all the steps, right? Everything that is normal that a regular financial institution would require. I required that. The only difference is, guess what? It's not really contingent upon like your credit or anything like that, because I'm a person that's underwriting my own money. Like it's like calling your cousin up and your cousin said, you're like, man, I need $10,000 or whatever that is. And your cousin's like, all right, I'll loan you the money for your $10,000, I do have a promissory note, right? There's a note, and I'm going to record, this document in the local county. So it shows that we actually have this agreement here. And in the event that you don't pay me back, this is what's going to happen, right? I have the right to, to file a judgment, or to file this, or to do that, whatever, or to take back the property, or take back ownership of the property if you don't follow the agreements that we had, that we originally negotiated together, right? So they get those types of connections at real estate investors associations, and they can start with that. And that's basically what I had to do to climb out of my deficit. I had to make friends. I didn't have time to be part of my pity party. I was like telling people, I was like, guess what? I'm in between fortunes, and I got $1. That's all I got is.
But I got a lot of hustle and drive in me.
I got $1 and a dream.
Right.
But what I do have is time. So people who are normally in between fortunes normally have time, which is a commodity itself, right? It's very precious. So they can multiply their value by utilizing their time to support and help somebody else accomplish their goal, and then you can accomplish yours.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the. I know you've been in the game since 2006. It's about 17 years now that you've been actually doing this. Give us some struggles, some pitfalls, some rebuilds that you had along your journey. Walk us through that.
Besides the big one, no, I'm just kidding. So, besides that, because I learned I was real conservative after that. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Reckless. Not just kidding.
Did you play it safe after that?
No, I just played by different rules, right?
Okay.
So what had happened is I was playing basketball and everybody else was playing soccer. So I was literally playing with rules from the wrong sport and expecting a successful result. And that's what a lot of licensed agents are doing right now, is just that they're applying the wrong methodology or, a concept to a market. So markets are cyclical, aren't they? Right? So this is not the first time that our market is at a high, right? This is not the first time that interest rates have gone up. As a matter of fact, historically, interest rates are still low, right? Back in the 80s, interest rates are like double digits, right? They were in the teens, and people were still buying real estate then. So you have to say to yourself, well, how did they buy real estate when, at 15%? And today is, okay, what is it, 6? At the high end, it's like 6.5 or whatever, right? So there's still an opportunity out there. So it would literally be learning how to play the game and execute the rules for that specific market cycle at that particular time in your market. And then market cycles are not like general, right? They could be regional, they could be state, and you can move from one neighborhood to the next and the cycle is different. So just studying your market and trends to see what's really happening, because the trends is going to really tell you a story. And then you can literally just go back, peel back that onion, Chris, Maurice, just a couple of years, and then look and see what other people did. And you're like, oh, that's what they were doing when the market looked like this. Right. And then start doing that same thing.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Listen, I was about to re-ask it in a different way.
Okay. So a deal that didn't go so well. All right. So I joint ventured with another real estate investor, and I had did like a gazillion deals with that individual that was like highly successful and profitable. And then I did a deal with them, right? So now we build up this trust, we build up this rapport, and we both made money together, as we say, in the hood, like we broke bread, so everything was good. We broke bread, everything was good. And then, right, we had this one a deal that we both were committed for, right? And then I don't know what happened, right? So you have life changes and you have all kinds of, situations that people go through, and the individual defaulted on the agreement. So I literally was like left holding the bag. So I easily could have like walked away from that balance, and at the time I had private lenders and I had all this, stuff going on that property. But my private lenders, I treat their money even better than I treat my own money, right?
Good.
So I had real people loan me money from their retirement account with an expectation of me taking care of their money, right? So that's personal. So what I did, although that deal was going south, I made the payments personally because those were my lenders, right? So my people, and I take care of my people. So I personally made those lenders. So it ended up being a negative cash flow for me. And then what I did was I transferred the debt servicing. I transferred that mortgage from that property that was, going south, for a lack of better words, onto another property that I had owned free and clear that was cash flowing, right? So that's another strategy when you own more than one property. But I didn't default with my lenders, is what I'm saying. It cost me some stuff. Now it cost me a couple of dollars to do that, but my lenders were appreciative that I didn't default on the loan. And then we ended up doing business together again. Like they end up lending to me in the future on other deals because I earned their trust with their money. Right. So they knew the situation. They knew that the joint venture, that JV with that individual was not successful. And we were, separating like a bad marriage, right. And I was left holding the bag, having to sell this property for less than basically a short sale for one of the investment properties, and just barely, making anything on it. So I transferred the balance that was not paid off on that mortgage to one of my free and clear properties and continued to pay that balance down, and secured my private lender's note and investment. So that was kind of painful.
Do you think, I don't know if you have a question about it.
No, go ahead.
Do you think that your success came based upon the knowledge that you acquired through the years?
No, I actually do not. I mean, the knowledge, the skills, the tactics, I think is like 10% of the process. Because you could teach anybody knowledge, skills, tactics. That doesn't mean that they're going to execute it, right? You have a whole. How many of you, Chris and Maurice, know a whole bunch of know-it-alls?
Absolutely. Yeah. We had a couple. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. There's a whole bunch of people that know a whole bunch of stuff, but I just call them professionally broke people, right? So you have a whole bunch of professionally broke people that know a lot, but they're not really profitable with the information that they know. Right. So I would actually say what has gotten me through the years as a successful investor has been relationships. So people underestimate the value of relationships. I remember I needed some money. All right. True story, right? So I'm building now. I'm building a property, and I don't have the money. Literally, but I had the money. I have the down payment. I got the earnest money. And the builder has they got good money. They got like 20 or 30. I don't even know how much money they had at the time, but they had enough. They had quite enough. They had like 6 figures of down payment, right? So I am on the hook for, if I don't close, I'm going to lose my down payment. Why? Because there's a whole bunch of equity in their property, and the builder will be happy to sell it to somebody else and be like, "Deuce,
raise the price up." Right.
Oh yeah, they be like, "Bye, girl," because they contracted with me on yesterday's price, right? And they have already raised their prices for future buyers, right? So they were happy to tell me, "Hey, if you don't close, we're going to do X." And I was like, "That's a damn lie." Use a lie, and that's not what's going to happen. So I went into my meditation and into my prayer closet, because that's what I do, right? So I don't what do you call it now, like panic about, different things, because I've been through so many challenges in my life. Like, I only have one source of abundance and prosperity, and that's God, and that's my faith, right?
That's
so
good.
I go into my prayer closet, and
talk that talk, Jackie.
I'm talking that talk, and I got a supernatural download of a name, just random, and I'm like, really, Holy Spirit? And they were like, I'm literally talking to myself, and the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, that's what I said. I said what I said. Right. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna call him. So I call that person. And I was like, hey, this is the situation. This is the amount of equity that's in this property. If you don't know, or if you can't assist, maybe you know somebody, but this is a great opportunity for somebody to have a first lien position on a property that has like a hell amount of equity in it. And they were like, well, how much you need? And I was like, I need 500,000. And they were like, okay. And I was like,
Maurice, I need 500,000.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Hey, you ain't got to that prayer closet yet, so.
I heard it. I heard the Holy Spirit say Maurice. That's what I heard.
You ain't got to that prayer closet.
That's the kind of relationships you want to have with people, where you can just call somebody, right? And you be like, I need $500,000 tomorrow. And they're like, okay. All right, just call my office tomorrow, and we'll get the paperwork done, and we'll get it done. And I was like, okay. And then that was that. So I showed up to closing like nah. You thought, but that's not.
So Jackie, let me ask you one. This is my last question. I know we about to get ready to wrap up here shortly. So, myself personally, as an investor and a realtor, how do we break the predatory stigma of investors because of a small batch of bad apples that have really made the investor space like we're really out there just trying to take people's property for pennies on a dollar?
Yeah.
Well, there's always going to be some type of stereotype or something. There's stereotypes about realtors too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
open up doors.
So here's the facts, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely. Tell it.
Instead of making assumptions and listening to hearsay, let's identify exactly what it is that real estate investors do and the positive contribution that we make in our community. So I actually don't do a deal unless there's 7 wins in that deal. 7 different individuals and their families eat off of that one deal.
Okay.
Break that down.
Explain that.
All right. So here we go. And keep me honest, you guys. All right. So first of all, the first one who gets a little something out of it is going to be the county, right? So I buy properties that are not performing and the county is not getting any money from it. So first things first, the county gets the money that they need in order to reinvest into communities. And you have driven, I'm sure, as licensed professionals, you've driven through communities where you can say, there is a deficit in funding in this community. It's like literally evident, right? So people are not paying their real estate taxes and all of that stuff. So you can definitely tell areas where real estate taxes are delinquent. So putting properties back on the tax roll is actually a positive contribution that real estate investors make. Number one. Number two, all right, we're also employing people. What you say? Okay. What about the handyman and the tradesmen, right? And all of those general contractors and stuff like that we pay to actually create value in a property, a value add property. We're feeding them as well as their families as well. Now, that's 2. 3. What about the material that we buy? So the material that we buy, we're buying it from wherever we're sourcing from. Big box stores, right? So we're pumping money back into the economy that way as well too. That's already 3. That's 3. Number 4. All right, you ready for it? What about the family that's going to live, love, and enjoy that property? They win because they get a safe place to live, right? Whether they're renting or whether we are selling it to them. safe property that they can love, live in, and enjoy and raise their family in peace, right? So that's a fourth one. What about the buyer's agent? Let's talk about that commission, because everybody loves talking about commission. So now we have the buyer's agent getting a commission along, and I'm going to group the buyer's agent with their broker. So that's literally two, but I'm not even going to jip y'all like that. So we got the buyer's agent that's getting a commission. So we already at 5, ain't we? That's 5. Okay, 5. Who was the 6th guy? Ooh, the title company. What you say? What you say? There's a title company. There's like an administrator that's handling all of the paperwork. Okay, that's 6. That's 6 different individual stakeholders that are having good success all from one property. Then of course I get a profit, right? Because that's my business. And that's what I'm doing. So that's 7 different wins. So I can't win unless I make sure that all those other stakeholders that are involved with that property wins as well. Let's talk about we have 8. What about the lender? The lender who's loaning to the buyer, right? They get to earn interest over time with that mortgage. And maybe there might even be a 9th one in the event that I have a private lender that I am supporting by borrowing their money. I'm contributing to their retirement account as well too. Listen, y'all, we at 10? Are we at 10?
Listen,
you can keep going. Let's go.
Louis. Okay, so that's what real estate investors do. And nobody intelligently is able to articulate that so that people can be clear on the contributions that real estate investors make. But Ms. Jackson does. Like, I know who I am. So ain't nobody gonna tell me that I'm no ambulance chaser. I'll be like, really? How many jobs did you create this year?
That's good.
How many families did you feed this year? How many families did you house this year? How many people did you help grow their net worth this year? Oh, 0? Oh, okay.
That's good. Yeah. Well, listen, man, we got to bring this one back, Maurice. Man, I think we went overtime. We had 7:05. Like, this is like, man, we can still keep going. We can literally still keep going.
We can.
Yeah. Jackie, real quick, go ahead and let the people know, because we didn't even get an opportunity to talk about your program. We didn't, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about your program, what you offer, how they can actually get in contact with you.
Oh man, thank you so much, Chris, for that opportunity. So I have a program. It's called Tax Deed Genius. It is the best program on the entire planet because it is a PhD level on how to invest in real estate all across the United States for their delinquent real estate taxes, teaching the delinquent, teaching the due diligence, everything that you need to know, the title searches, everything that you need to be able to find, locate, source, buy, as well as sell these properties, okay? And you can find all that information on thejackyjackson.com, and got a payment plan. Just sign up with a firm. Everybody be like, oh, Jackie, sign up with a firm. I'll be like, all right, I'll sign up with a firm. So you can use a firm and, get your $100 a month or whatever it is that they tell you got to do. But you can start with me for a really, really low entry cost, right? And get a lot of value, because not only do you get the untraditional information of how to really truly create wealth, which is what a lot of the licensed professionals have done. They join the program, graduate from the program, which is delivered online for busy professionals. So if you are busy, this is perfect for you. So that's okay. And they learn this strategy, and then they go out and they work with real estate investors and or apply it to themselves and start buying properties too.
Absolutely. So Miss Jackie, Angie Lawson said we'll be in touch. So owner of TNT Transaction Coordinator. So she'll be in touch with you. And hey, before we wrap this up, Chris, let me go ahead and pay some bills to our preferred partner.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage. Click on the ad below to apply.
So, Miss team, damn, I lost my train of thought. MBL. You can check her out at teammbl.com. She's one of those people that you were talking about in that what real estate investors do. Mortgages by Linda. So check her out at 1-877 Mortgages by Linda.
Absolutely.
Team MBL.
Team MBL. Well, we got to bring you back, Jackie. We got to do another one, and we can. We'll probably talk offline. We'll probably do another show where you can kind of just like do the whole show based upon one of your techniques, and we'll break that technique all the way down. I think we have so many different directions that we can definitely do with that. So, good stuff. You got the last final words, and with these last and final words, go ahead and encourage some people. Last thoughts. Provoking thoughts, anything that you want to share with anybody listening to the show tonight. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Chris. So wealth is generated from people who already believe that they're wealthy. And it's not just affirmations or just repeating, positive mantras and things like that. You must first be wealth in order to create wealth. So my mentor once shared with me that, like I said, he never ever considered himself broke, no matter how much money he ever had in his bank account. And he understood that even if you lose a fortune, you can create another fortune because you already are being wealth, right? So God wants you wealthy. You got to believe that you are given dominion over the earth. So real estate is earth, and it is your God-given right to own it and to manage it and to be a good steward off of it, as well as to be profitable in it. So God bless you all, and thank you so much for your time.
Man,
Thank you so much. Absolutely, man. What a great show.
Broke it down. Listen, we definitely appreciate you jumping on the show.
Yes.
I mean, we had some scheduling conflicts, but you made it work, and I definitely appreciate that. If there's anything that we could ever do for you,
yes,
from us over here at the show, Real Talk of Real Estate, don't hesitate to pick up the phone, and we're there. We're there. We appreciate you. We honor you. We salute you for all the success that you're doing. What was that? I see that look. Y'all got them hands pointed, boy. You know what I'm saying? There it is.
Hey, you the airport. You know how this go. Stop playing.
There it is. Pop that thing. Pop it that collar, baby. But listen, we appreciate you. We honor you. We salute you for everything that you're doing. Continue to keep striving. Continue to keep shining, and continue to keep doing your thing. All right.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So, Maurice, what you got?
Before we go, we got a 1031 exchange class, CE class this Thursday, 11:30 with Michelle Glass, real estate attorney. So they're going to be hosting a CE class for us this Thursday. Make sure you all look out, come out to the event, get your CE credits, learn how 1031 exchange, because we all know nobody wants to pay Uncle Sam when they when they purchase that house. They want to do a 1031 exchange. So there's a great way to save taxes. So 1031 exchange class this Thursday, 11:30. Check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Facebook. We got a bunch of people that's gonna be sharing it on all of our on all of our Facebook pages. Myself, Maurice, Angie Loss. I mean, we got a ton of supporters out there who's gonna be blasting it on their Facebook page. So you're definitely not gonna miss it. So
absolutely.
All right. So listen, y'all, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us on another episode of Real Talk and Real Estate. Like we do every Tuesday night, we bring you somebody who has proven, documented, what they say, documentation beats conversation all day long. And so we bring you the real conversations from individuals who actually out there on the course doing some stuff in the community and making things happen. So until next time, don't talk about it, be about it. We out. Peace.